Now here, next four verses is something. It's a discussions. First, I should say, in India, as earlier mentioned, has so many different types of religions, and there are so many different types of belief systems. So you see the page, it's under verse 27, it's called primal substance. It's one kind of belief. There's such called a primal substance, as they say. And then that which has been called the self. There's one also, of course, quite few, but there's a belief self. So those are independent, what they believe. It's not, it's religious belief. So because of that, do not arise and designedly, it is not dependent on causes, conditions. Because of that, and do not think I will become. So I will become this, that, because they are permanent. For that which is not born does not exist. So I said that is the car. What happened? So, for that which is not born does not exist. Something has to be born to be exist. If it is not born, does not exist. It means, so what could want to come to be, so that is not exist, then how that could want to come to be, and permanently drawn towards its objects. This is permanent, cannot change. So permanently drawn toward its object, it can never cease from being so. So always, just like for example, if that is watching the mountain, always just watching mountain, cannot change, because it's permanent. Indeed, this self, if permanency, is certainly inert like space itself. It's like the space is permanent, doesn't change, like that. And should it meet with other effort, if it meets other efforts, how could they affect it, since it is unchanging? No matter what kind of other forces meet, it cannot change because it's permanent. If when conditions act on it, if there's conditions act on that self or that primal substance, it stays just as as before. It was before. It will stay all the time that way because it's a permanent. What influence have these conditions had? What can influence? Can do that? They cannot influence anything. They say that these are agent of the self, but what connection could there be between them? So what's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. So this is some kind of argument. If things are permanent, so as mentioned here, nothing can be changed, nothing can be affected. So that's called dispute. Shantideva disputes to those some individuals. Now here comes, let me see. So 31, now look at 31. All things then depend on other things. So since there's no any permanent, everything's dependent on something just to manifest. And these likewise depends, so they depend each other, other depends to that. They are not independent. Knowing this, we will not be annoyed. So when you know these things, there's nothing to be annoyed, angry about, because everything's just illusory nature, just a manifestation. At things that are like magical appearance, means just an emanation, just a manifestation. Manifest from causes and conditions, and that's not real. So look at this, everything's just a manifestation. Everything just appeared due to many causes and conditions. That appearance is not exactly what it's come from, but without that, there's no appearance. So I just play of the causes and conditions. So from that point of view, we should keep our mind calm and peace. Basically, the point is how to keep our mind more peace and calm and tranquility. So the firecracker has no freedom. Then the verse 32, resistance, you may say is out of place, for what would be opposed by whom? So now if you say like this, it's just a magical appearance, Now I have something to resist. So what opposes what? Where you are talking about practice of patience. Everything's just magical. Everything's others' force. So now we are now say we are in somewhere out of place, So for what will be opposed by whom? So in that, now the answer is the stream of sorrow is cut through by practice. So now even though everything is magical appearance, others force, but we need to practice patience because we don't want suffering. Even though everything's magical state, manifestation, illusory nature, yet within that we all know that no one desires for suffering. Everyone is desired to have peace and happiness, so that there is distinctive cause and conditions within that dimension. So because of that, there's nothing out of place in our assertion. It's not out of place. There is causes and conditions. So to free from the suffering, the practice of patience is required. this makes very important statement, sometimes we do, So if you say everything is illusory nature, then why we practice Dharma, because we just live in that way. But within that, the suffering is very real, and the causes of suffering is there, cannot deny. So due to this and reason, so we need practice of patience to cut the cause of suffering. And then 33, so I said, thus, when enemies or friends are seen to act improperly, remain serene and call to mind that everything arises from conditions. No, we should have such kind of a decent mind or incisive mind. Whether our enemies or friends, anybody who acts improperly, then keep your mind serene, peace, and don't disturb your peace of mind. As a call to your mind that everything arises from conditions. Everything arises from the condition. All those conditions also depends on many causes, many conditions. So look at all this as a manifestation, and you have every freedom to keep your mind as a peace, as a peaceful mind and clear. So he is now saying it's not just only what you wish. We have to depend on many causes and conditions. So 34 here, verse 34. If things could be according to their wish, if everything comes manifest just according to your wish, then no suffering would ever come. Suffering would never come, because to anyone of all embodied beings, every sentient beings, for none of them wants pain of any kind. Nobody wants suffering, any types. So they should not have any types of suffering. If it is just by your wish, so that's the not case. The suffering is there. So in other words, it shows it's not just only your wish, it depends on many causes and conditions. So now he's here, Shantideva is going further, so it's not just only your wish, it depends on many causes and conditions. So here now, verse 35, yet carelessly, all unaware, they tear themselves on thorns. Nowadays we see so many people suicide on thorns, and ardent in pursuit of wives or husband and goods, they starve themselves of nourishment. People die to get wife or to get husband. So that means when your mental affliction becomes so strong, you destroy yourself. And 36th verse continues, some hang themselves or live into the void, means jump from the sky. And there's some that take poison or consumes unhealthy food, or by their evil conduct bring destruction on themselves. So there are so many in the world nowadays, very obvious, clear, when the mental affliction is strong. So a lot of people, they suicide themselves. But when they cannot get what they want. So in many fields, going to college, business, and family, those issues, look at those. So Shantideva precisely touching the nature of the samsara. See, he knows how things are going. So we just reflect on this. And there, see the nature of samsara. Then try to develop wisdom, understanding, and then practice of compassion. How can be done for myself and for others. Verse 37, for when affliction seizes them, and the strong mental affliction manifests, rise in the mind, desire or anger, they even slay themselves, they kill themselves, which see themselves, they love so much. They love themselves so much. Like, I cherish myself. I try to eat good food, wear good clothes, sleep good place, whatever I can. All I be is I service myself because I attach to myself. But when the affliction rises, I destroy myself. So see, look at the disadvantage of the mental afflictions. We all different types of sentient beings have this. So, in such case, when you see this, they love themselves, but then when the affliction rises, they kill themselves. So how can they not be cause of others' bodily distress? So then why not they will harm others' life? So it's, so look at these situations. Shantideva is making such kind of clear picture of the samsaric sentient beings, how they go through. They harm themselves for their own peace and happiness. And then, when they harm themselves, why not they don't harm others? It happens. So what here we should know, this is the case. Because of this, we should practice the Dharma. Dharma is the only solution. No other choice. That's why I mentioned it's not a religious training. It's the training for more peace and happiness. You can see in the world very precisely, struggling so much in their life. Just a lot of, the mental affliction rises in the mind. And they do anything. Sometimes we think they are crazy. But the mental affliction makes that. So in such case, when you see that, so develop concern, compassion, wisdom, at least in your heart. Then see what you can do, what you can help. So as you see now here, this all line gives us some special insight of the disadvantage of the mental afflictions, and how it is so destructive, as also yesterday mentioned here today as well. Look at those with a different reason, different way of explaining. So then say the verse, I think here, 38. Although we almost never feel compassion for those who through defilement and bring about their own perdition, what purpose does our anger serve? So you are saying those individuals, see, when the mental affliction is overpowered, not only other, they kill themselves. In such a kind of condition, if we cannot develop compassion, what's the reason to be angry? What's the reason to manifest anger within you? Actually, reality is those individuals who are overpowered by the mental afflictions, we should have compassion to those. Because not only they destroy others' life, but they destroy themselves by the power of the mental afflictions. There are so many cases, you see. There are so many people that say now that they bring the gun and they kill others and they kill themselves because of the mental afflictions. Otherwise, why? No reason. So now to kill it, to clean these kind of mental afflictions, so only as mentioned, Dharma practice. Even that person is put in jail, doesn't do any good. Even that person is put in jail for the rest of the life, no benefit is done. Even that person is persecuted, punished, killed. The problem is not solved. The only way is now here. All these teachings given us how to develop compassion, how to purify our mental afflictions. See these things. So these kind of instructions, as I mentioned, not only for only Buddhists, but anybody need this kind of teaching. Everybody need this teaching. So Buddha's mind, where Buddha taught, is not just only for followers of Buddha or small group of Buddhists, but Buddha taught this kind of precious teaching for every sentient beings, because they need this. Even though they may don't believe, don't follow, but they need these teachings. When life goes well, then we feel, oh, it's okay, I'm okay, fine, no problem, I don't need these spiritual things, They think spiritual thing is something strange. No, it's not normal life. In reality, this kind of study practices for normal people, for everybody. But we need to prepare ahead. Because when these mental afflictions pops up, then they are so strong, like earthquake. When the earthquakes, then such a strong buildings are collapsed. So like that, when this mental affliction manifests within, unexpectedly, then it's destroying yourself. which you work for your life so much to build your life better, but in that instant you destroy yourself, you see. So look at this. And we practitioners aware this and practice Dharma. And then we should really, as mentioned, appreciate, feel fortunate. Oh, Dharma is life-saving. It's not just some ceremony, no, some magical powers help you. This is something which uproots the cause of all the suffering. Yeah. Now this how we can practice patience, or say not to give rise to anger. He is showing many different methods. Now, verse 39. If those who are like wanton children, means sentient beings, like a child, childlike, also ordinary, basically, so ordinary sentient beings called a child, children, are by nature prone to injure others. These ordinary sentient beings, if they are prone to injure others, if it's their nature, then in such case, there's no reason for our rage. When they make mistake, when they give rise to anger, there's no benefit to manifest anger in our heart. See? So there's no reason for our rage. It's like resenting fire for being hot. Fire is hot, and if you touch fire, you burn you. Then you're being upset. Oh, this fire is so bad, it's burning my hand, The fire is nature. We should not touch, initially. Once you touch, it will burn, because fire nature is hot. So you should not be angry to the fire. So like that, if the sentient being's nature is pruned, then nature is just to make angry. In such case, well, no benefit to give rise to anger. Because when anger comes in our heart, we have no peace, no happiness. So look at that nature of the sentient beings, whose their nature is negative, cause of suffering. Then just be distant and don't give rise to anger. So that's not touch to the fire if it is burning. Then verse 40. This. And if their faults are fleeting and contingent, means if their faults are temporary, and if living beings are by nature mild or gentle, this means the nature of the sentient being has the Buddha nature. That is gentle, mild. And all these faults, conflictions, or mistakes are just temporary. It's just conditional. So if we see that way, then they said, in that case, we no need to be upset, be angry. So it is like senseless to resent them. As well be angry at the sky when it's full of smoke. This example is like the nature of the sky is clear. It's completely clear, serene. But when the smoke manifests in the sky, it's like you are angry at the sky because the smoke is temporary, very temporary, conditional. Just when you burn some fuels and smoke manifests. Then you be angry at the sky. I don't like this all smoke here in the sky, It's something like that, So we should not be angry to the individuals because their faults, their afflictions, so temporary. Their nature is completely peace, calm. So in that case, now in the both cases, no reason to give rise anger, hatred in your heart. So practice the patience in this way. Make your mind more peaceful, gentle. Thank you. I think that's good. We live here. Now please first reflect on this today. Different way we got some explanations how to practice the patience, how to develop our mental strength based on wisdom and compassion, so that we will have a genuine peace and happiness. See, this is the point, not just temporary, genuine, real peace within, without expecting from outside, but how to develop that quality within in the mind. Because as we know, the Buddha nature is endowed within us. That is our capital. So because of that, we can do it. So reinforce ourselves. It may take time, but I can do it. Because we have precious human life, then we have the Dharma, the wisdom of the Buddha. That's why we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. This is what's called taking refuge. And it's like in the morning you're doing Guru Yoga, First you visualize Guru outside. You say prayers, supplicate, chant the mantra, so forth. Then after that, you make connection, receiving the full empowerment step by step. At the end of the session, the Guru dissolves into you. And you become the Guru, see, not outside. So first we need support, help from outside, teacher. Then at the end, you become the Guru. You are your Guru. So that's how it happens. And we do this practice that. This is the example. We ourselves, our own Guru, our own strong teacher. So like this, here's not all these explanations, giving us some kind of guidance how to get rid of our mental afflictions, step by step. Then at the end of the day, you are well off yourself to maintain these great wisdom of the Buddha is within you. And then step by step practice this, get used to this, as earlier mentioned, get habit on this practice, familiarize these practices. And from small, then you grow greater and greater yourself. So just meditate on this. So Father, so tomorrow we'll go through this. So rejoice. So feeling of real kind of say, this is such a great, wonderful. I'm learning how to be myself, to produce the great happiness within in my own heart. Okay, with this. Thank you so much. Now there's another request prayer. His name is Chia Lee, a friend of Madam Chia, who discovered liver cancer 2 days ago. So all the Sangha members are requested to think of him and say prayers for his recovery. So with this we say this dedication prayer, page 39. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, good and lineage Lama, divine assemblies of Idams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Varans and Viranis, Yoginis and Dakinis, dwelling in the 10th direction, please hear my prayer. May all the virtues corrected in the 3 times by myself and all the samsara and nibbana, and the inner roots of virtue, not result in the 8 worried concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or ripen as the state of the Shravakas and Praktika Buddhas. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me in mind, obstructors who harm, maras who mislead, and the holders of demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, completely perfected, precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May concerns about fame, reputation, wealth, and honor in this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And through that, may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. At the time of death, may the sufferings of severing the life chains not arise. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminicity of my such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the Bhagavad. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
So this now, these few days we are going this this homework for the rest of the year. So don't feel too much. Okay, otherwise it's now we went through so much, But for all the rest of the year, that you can, revise, reflect. Thank you so much.